I decided to be arrogant and keep my defense in my starting lineup, even though they were on a bye. My reason being because I have the Seahawks defense, number one defense in fantasy. But the bigger reason is because I wanted to troll our buddy Joel. Wow, that rhymes. Whose opponent did something similar the previous week. Without my defense, I was still projected to beat him by double digits. Of course, the weekend I chose to do this is the same weekend. Welcome to Fantasy Fumbles, everybody. I'm your host, Johnny Barrow, and with me is my guest, Micah Bailey, and we're excited. It's been a minute, y'all, but we're here to share some fantasy fails here today. And guys, make sure that you guys share your own stories via email, via in the comments. However, we're trying to get as many stories in as possible so that we can keep this ball rolling into the off season. Once everything is said and done, once we're past the Super Bowl, we need content to keep going. So, and I do have off-season content planned just a little bit, but I would love to keep the main thing that makes this channel go forward. I would like to keep that going into the off-season, into the spring. So send me as many of your stories as possible. We'd love to hear your stories. We love making fun of each other. We love roasting each other for our fantasy fails, and we're going to get right into it. So this is from our friend Billy, who was our first fantasy champion in this league. Going into Sunday night's matchup between Green Bay and Pittsburgh, despite Drake London and Jake Ferguson both dropping goose eggs for me, I was up 125 to 92. He had three players remaining: Jordan Love, Pat Freiermuth, and Kenneth Gainwell. Freiermuth and Gainwell only combined for 8 points, but of course, Jordan Love puts on a show in primetime and scores 34 points, a season high for him. I lost 134 to 125. That's tough, bro.
That's tough.
That's really tough. And here's a note that I had for why do we keep players, whether they're on a bye week or they're injured? Like, I'm seeing a pattern. We're all doing this in our league, and maybe some of y'all are doing the same thing, like whether it's pride or being arrogant. But he had Ted McMillan, who basically did nothing, and switch London. He had Ted McMillan, who did do something, switch him in London, and he had Chase Brown on his bench, who popped off against the Jets' abominable defense, put him in the flex. Like, he gets a W from one of those moves. It makes no sense why we don't adjust. I don't know why, but as men, we can become very prideful sometimes. And more often than not, it doesn't pay off well for us.
Nope, I'm guilty of it. You're guilty of it. Sometimes we just want to feel like we're right on the inside, that we know what we're doing. And sometimes it just comes back to bite us in the worst ways possible.
It really does. It's the worst. So will we learn our lesson? Probably not.
No, definitely
not. We're too puffed up to admit that.
Nope.
So how about you? You have a fantasy fumble, Micah, that happened recently?
Oh, that little smug smile of yours.
Oh, man. The build-up.
We'll go with the one from 2 weeks ago. I was playing a matchup that I was projected to win quite easily, in fact. I think it was close to the end of the 1 o'clock slate. It was about a 70, like higher than 75% chance to win, I was like, oh, okay, pretty easy. Like, Lamar Jackson, I think this is the game that came back from Miami. He had a great game, set me up for success.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of the games got played. The biggest offender of them all is one old good Rome Odunze, a wide receiver of one Chicago Bears. And this wide receiver, when I needed him the most, just anything at all, zero.
Nothing.
I had the same amount of fantasy points as Rome Odunze that Sunday. My running back, Mr. Vidal of the Los Angeles Chargers, got me 3. And I think my defense got me negative too, if I don't remember correctly. Like my whole team, my whole 4 o'clock slate just completely collapsed right in front of my eyes, and I just had to watch Chris's numbers just go up, 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 and mine are just. Oh, like so. In short, I
Just
lost.
even.
Yep, I lost. Thanks, everybody. Fun week.
Mm-hmm. Dang. It's funny how that works sometimes. Like we'll have a great 1 o'clock slate and then the 4 to 4:25 slate rolls around and our players do
Binky.
absolutely nothing.
Binky.
It's so weird how that works sometimes. Like
Mm-hmm.
like it feels like a simulation almost.
Oh yeah.
Yep, it's your turn to crap out this time. It's like it's a coincidence. And I mean, let me share my thoughts. Like you had a great start to your week Thursday night. Let me just say, I don't think that there's any worse feeling than because I started Bo Nix last week. I can't remember if I'm going to get into it later on in the show, but we'll see. But I started Bo Nix last week, who was playing against the Raiders over Jared Goff, who was playing against the Commanders. And obviously, Jared Goff did very well. Bo Nix did not do well, but I mean, my reasoning is like Bo Nix has been a top 5 quarterback in fantasy all year, and he's going up against the Raiders at home. And, there's no worse feeling than you're starting your quarterback on Thursday night and he does absolutely nothing for you. And it feels like you lost fantasy really before the weekend even starts. Like it's, it hurts, man. It hurts a lot. But I went 3-0 in all 3 of my fantasy leagues this week, despite Bo Nix doing nothing for me against the Raiders,
There you
which
go.
is,
Look at you go.
I don't know how that worked. I mean, it was partly implosion on my opponent's end, but it was also some of my players coming through for me, overachieving.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I think in my game against Hunter, because that's who I played in our league, I had 7 out of 9 guys who got more than their projected, and then 2 other guys under projected. And Bo Nix was one of them. So that definitely played a role in me beating Hunter. So, and I mean, shoot, I was, even despite that, I was the highest scoring team in the league, 2nd week in a row. And could you imagine if I had put Jared Goff in the lineup? Like, I beat Hunter enough.
Higher. More.
Insert Kylo Ren clip right over here.
Woo.
All right. And this one is from me. So, for those of you who watched last week's episode, you may remember that I decided to be arrogant and keep my defense in my starting lineup, even though they were on a bye. My reason being because I have the Seahawks defense, #1 defense in fantasy. But the bigger reason is because I wanted to troll our buddy Joel. Wow, that rhymes. Whose opponent did something similar the previous week. Without my defense, I was still projected to beat him by double digits. Of course, the weekend I chose to do this is the same weekend RJ Harvey decided to get a hat trick. That is 3 touchdowns against the Cowboys defense. James Cook against the Panthers also had a career game with the most rushing yards in a half by any player this season. In the end, I lost 135 to 126. I could have dropped the Seahawks defense for the Chiefs, by the way, who were playing on Monday night against the Commanders. But I refused to budge and bail on a top-ranked defense. So the question is, was I smart enough for playing the long game and keeping Seattle, or pridefully dumb for not grabbing KC and adding another W for the record? Only time will tell. I am 5-5 right now. I'm back to 500. It feels like I've been on the edge of 500 all year. I have yet to be 1 game above 500, hoping to change that this week, but that is the reason why I am not above 500 right now. But, I'm hoping that Seahawks defense, keeping them pays off in the end, because there was no way I was going to risk letting one of y'all pick them up. Ain't no way.
You should
Especially after what they
should just drop Debo
especially
earlier
after.
and pick up KC.
No, honestly, but especially after what they did to Jacoby Brissett on Sunday. Oh man, that was beautiful. Watching, I mean, I hate that he's now a Seahawk, but seeing DeMarcus Lawrence score 2 touchdowns alone is insane. I mean, shoot, he's scored more touchdowns than DJ Moore and Rome Odunze in the last 2 weeks, probably.
Low blow.
It had to be said. Somebody had to say it. So, Micah, you remember as the commissioner of the league, I had to make the executive decision to help George with his lineup so Christian didn't get a free win. Well, it really didn't matter if I did that or not. Christian didn't even get to 80. To 80. That's how bad this man's team is. Like, he has both a bad roster and he is not good at managing his roster this year. For whatever reason, the year after he makes the Super Bowl and loses to you, which, by the way, it should be said, I am still the last team that lost to him. I am the last person that has lost to Christian.
You get to hold that personal record.
I get to hold that for a while, whether I win it all this year or not. Like, Christian still has not beaten anybody this year. And this man did not even get to 80. And what's funny is, George, with the help of me, of course, George's team was the highest scoring of the week. And he had a kicker on a bye. Like, how does that happen? This is beyond me. This is a Super Bowl hangover for the ages. This is almost worse than when the Rams won the Super Bowl and they won like 4 games the next season. Like, it makes no sense.
Like, see, this is the season I thought I would have had. Like, the core of the Christians have right now, that's legit what I thought I was going to have. Because I'm like, okay, first 2 years playing, got relatively unscathed, finished second, then finished first. Exactly. I'm like, okay, now this is when the comeuppance starts. This is when the fantasy football gods are going to come down and say, no, you're doing too well. You must now suffer as others have suffered. And like, look, I'm not even saying I'm not even doing great right now. I think I'm 5-5, same as you. So like, it's not like I'm doing amazing, but I'm like, winless is insane. Like, that's impressive. That's almost like a skill.
Yeah.
Even the Jets got a win, out of the blue, Like, that was a bet for a while. It's like, who'd get their first win first, Christian or the New York Jets? We got our answer. It was the Jets.
Now we need to start a new bet. Will Christian get his first win of the season before the Titans get their next win of the season?
Oh gosh.
we need to keep the ball rolling, baby. Keep them coming.
Well, if he's scoring less than 80, is he ever going to win? Is the
question. Nobody's scoring that low. That's the thing.
I know. I was like, at least all of us could scrape 100 minimum. I was like,
yeah, exactly. I mean, we're talking a whole 20 points. That's a massive gap, bruh.
That's insane.
And for those of you who don't know, like, by the way, we want some engagement. Drop down your fantasy league's punishments down below. We want to hear how unique your guys' fantasy punishments are. I want to share ours. So I remember part of it, at least this part of it, is if you're married and you lose, you get last place, your wife has to draft your team next year. So, I mean, Christian is well on pace. I mean, I don't even think it's not even a horse race at this point. Like, he is the clear front runner for the number 1 pick this year. Like, honestly, it's like, do we punish him for intention? Like, at this point, is he intentionally tanking? Like, I feel like we should punish him for that.
Oh no. If I know Christian, like, he'll still flip picks. Like, he'll still put picks in there. Like, he'll try. He'll just put in there and just hope someone randomly gets 50, like some other people did this week. But yeah. Like, he'll still try.
Yeah, so that's our punishment. Speaking of, now I want to go to that. Like, you care to share your thoughts on that?
Oh no, I want to talk about it.
You knew it was coming, man.
Oh gosh. So remember how Johnny just a few mere minutes ago said that one of the worst feelings is starting a weekend feeling like you already lost before it ever began.
Yeah.
But that's just hypothetical, you know? That's just a Thursday night game. You know, it's like things could still happen on Sunday. Or it could be like me and go to bed on a Saturday night, rest up well, wake up Sunday morning, go to church, come back, look at your fantasy app, and see Jonathan Taylor score 50 points by himself and effectively just ruin your fantasy league before it ever started. And you know what's even worse? I have two leagues I'm in right now. I played him in both leagues. And
Oh,
I
that's the
lost both
worst.
leagues because of him and only him. Only him.
Bro, that's tough.
I am. If Derrick Henry is Joel's favorite meal, I am Jonathan Taylor's favorite meal.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm
I have
looking at the
PTSD
final score
forever.
again. That's rough, man.
Jake's
Jake's
team.
team at its
Go.
best is scary.
Yes. The
No,
only
what's
thing holding him back
crazy
is
is,
Jordan Love.
yeah, no, exactly. No, which is so funny. Like it's funny how this works. It's the one thing that's holding Jake's team back, and it's also the one thing holding the Packers team in general back, I
And
feel
he's a
like.
Packers fan.
Right. Exactly.
It's all full circle.
Like this man got 8 points on his fantasy team, and he still beat you by 30.
Thank you,
By
thank you, Jonathan Taylor.
30.
Thank you, Jonathan Taylor. Yep.
Oh my gosh. I mean, Trey McBride also went up. The 49ers defense got him -5 points. He still won by 30. That's insane.
Thank you, Jonathan Taylor. Yep.
Oh man. His kicker had 1 point. One.
Thank you, Jonathan Taylor. I'm not keep saying it. I'm like, it's true. It's true.
I mean, yeah, it was. No, it's crazy because only two of his players got him over 20. Trey McBride and Jonathan Taylor. But the thing is, they combined for, let me do my math. They combined for like over 75 points. Those two alone only combined for 75 points, while the rest of them didn't even get to 20.
And 50 of them came from Jonathan Taylor. So thank you, Jonathan Taylor, for ruining my week. I will say, though, knowing I already lost before the week began actually let me enjoy the football week a little bit more. It's like I knew I just lost, but I could just watch the games as they happen. That was nice.
That is very fair. That's true.
I didn't have to worry because I already knew.
I have to go up against Jake in a week. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of funny how the schedule is lining up too before we get to our final fantasy fumble. It's crazy how the schedule is lining up. So I'm playing against Chris, who is in 4th, and I'm in 5th. And so I need to beat him in order for me to get above him. And then I'm playing Jake, who's in 3rd, and I need to beat him in order to get ahead of him and be in the top 3 finally. And then it's Irving, and who's in 2nd right now?
Joel.
It's Joel.
Yep.
That is Joel.
Somehow, with all his injuries on his team, somehow he's crawling.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Hey, just think if he didn't play the Packers defense, that would keep you tied for 1st.
This last story is from the number 1 team in our league. Ooh. From Irving. As the number 1 team in our league, I was projected to crush my opponent in week 8. However, Bijan Robinson, whose season low going into week 8 was 16, dropped an even bigger season low with 6. I lost 120 to 119. My best player failed me when I needed him most. It should be noted, he also had Drake May on his bench, who got him 32 against Cleveland. His starting, now, I mean, he's a Cleveland Browns fan. We all knew he was not starting Drake May against his Browns. No way.
Never. Too much pride.
He instead started Daniel Jones, who, I mean, he did not start him when he played Pittsburgh, which that's good for him. He started him when he played against Tennessee, got him 29. See, that's justifiable, but it's hilarious because he's a Browns fan. And he did not
switch it
pick
and
the
you got
guy that was exactly. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this week's edition of Fantasy Fumbles. Once again, share your stories down below. Share your stories via email, via Discord. We want to hear your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel. We have shorts that are going on every week from the podcast, from me, and we want you guys to enjoy that content. So subscribe if you want to see that. Hit that like button if you love this content, and we're just going to keep this content rolling, guys. And we will see y'all next time.
Later.